You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just stuck in patterns that steal your time before you realize it's gone. Time isn't running out. It's being taken, minute by minute, by distraction, fear, and indecision. But you can take it back. This audiobook isn't about productivity hacks. It's about transformation. It's about reclaiming control of your hours, your energy, your purpose. It's time to stop wasting time and start living with urgency, clarity, and unstoppable focus. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Trapped in the time loop. Every morning the alarm rings. You hit snooze. Not once, twice, maybe 3 times. When you finally wake up, your mind already feels heavy. Your hands reach for the phone. Scrolling, notifications, laughter from reels you won't remember. Half an hour gone. You shuffle through your morning routine without thinking. Breakfast, maybe, or just coffee. You sit down to work, but the focus never really comes. A ping distracts you. You check one message, then another. And suddenly, you're watching videos on how to be more productive, ironically while procrastinating. The day slips through your fingers like sand, and by the time night falls, guilt creeps in. Tomorrow, you say. Tomorrow I'll change. But tomorrow comes, and the loop repeats. This isn't just a bad habit. It's a cycle, a time loop. And unless you become aware of it, it becomes your life story. The time loop is silent. It doesn't announce itself. You don't hear chains locking you down. You just feel unfulfilled, drained, like you're always busy but rarely accomplished. You're moving but not forward. This is the trap most people never escape, because they don't even realize they're in it. How did we get here? We live in a world wired for distraction. Everything is designed to steal your focus. Apps are engineered to hijack your dopamine. Advertisements prey on your attention. The internet promises endless entertainment, and your brain craves the comfort of escape. But the cost? Your minutes, your momentum, your mission. You may not feel pain in the moment, but make no mistake, wasted time is emotional theft. It drains your confidence. It makes you question your worth. It builds regret like rust, slowly eating away at the edges of your ambition. You feel stuck not because you lack dreams, but because you keep postponing the actions that lead to them. Let me tell you about Arjun. He was a smart, driven guy who kept saying he wanted to start his business. Every week he made lists, watched YouTube videos, followed entrepreneurs on Instagram. But every night, after work, he'd sit on the couch, scroll endlessly, and tell himself he was too tired to begin. Months passed, then a year. He wasn't lazy, he was afraid, and his fear fed the loop. The longer he waited, the harder it became to start. The more time he lost, the more guilt he felt, until he began to believe maybe success wasn't meant for him. Sound familiar? You are not alone in this. But here's the breakthrough. The loop only has power while it remains invisible. The moment you name it, you can change it. The moment you see it clearly, you can break free. Let's make it visible. Here are 5 signs you're trapped in the time loop. You're always busy but never seem to make real progress. You spend more time planning than doing. You consume motivational content but don't take consistent action. You feel guilt at night and false hope in the morning. You say, "I'll start tomorrow," more than you act today. These signs aren't weaknesses. They're signals. They're calling you to take back control. Breaking the time loop starts with a decision, not a dramatic life overhaul, not a perfectly planned schedule, just one firm decision. I will no longer let time slip through my fingers unnoticed. From that decision, action flows. Here's how to start disrupting the loop today. Step 1. Name the loop. Call it out. Speak it. I'm stuck in a loop that wastes my time and delays my growth. This sounds simple, but it breaks denial. You can't fight what you won't face. Step 2. Track a day. No need to change anything. Just observe. Write down what you do every hour for one day. You'll be shocked at how much time vanishes in mindless moments. Awareness is the first tool of liberation. Step 3. Identify the trigger points. Notice what sends you spiraling. Boredom, stress, fear, perfectionism. Your loop begins at a trigger. When you identify that trigger, you reclaim the power to choose differently. Step 4. Set micro-interruptions. Don't aim to change everything overnight. Instead, insert one small action that interrupts the loop. It could be setting a timer, going for a 5-minute walk, or shutting off notifications for an hour. These micro-shifts become habits that break the cycle. Step 5. Forgive yourself quickly. You will slip. Everyone does. But guilt keeps you stuck. Learn to observe without judgment. The loop got me today. That awareness without shame is what will help you do better tomorrow. This is how freedom begins. Not with some grand gesture, but with simple, honest confrontation of where your time is truly going. Remember this truth. Every minute is a vote for the person you're becoming. And the time loop? It doesn't want you to know that. It wants you passive, comfortable, and distracted. But comfort is a slow death when it replaces growth. Every time you say, just 5 more minutes, you trade transformation for temporary relief. But you don't need relief. You need results. You're not powerless. You're just disconnected from your power. And once you step out of autopilot and into intention, everything changes. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to stop blaming the world, your past, or your circumstances, and finally take ownership of your time. Because freedom doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins when you do. Chapter 2. The hidden cost of delay. We rarely pause to count the cost of our delays. On the surface, procrastination feels harmless. We tell ourselves we'll get to it later. We justify it with busyness, fatigue, or even false optimism. I just need to be in the right mindset. But every time we delay what matters, we pay a price. And that price is far greater than we realize. Procrastination is not just a time issue, it's a life issue. Imagine this: 2 people with the same goal, same intelligence, same resources. One takes action immediately, stumbles, adjusts, and grows. The other waits for the perfect moment, the right conditions, the perfect plan. Months pass, then years. One moves forward through trial. The other stays still in theory. The cost? Momentum, confidence, opportunity. Every delayed decision compounds into missed experiences, missed growth, and missed mastery. Let's be clear. Delaying is not resting. Delaying is a hidden form of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. And the mind, being clever, wraps it in convincing language. I'm not ready yet. I need to do more research. I'll feel more focused tomorrow. But here's the raw truth. Delay is just a disguise, a mask worn by fear to look responsible. Think of all the dreams that died not because they weren't possible, but because someone kept putting them off until later. Later becomes never. The dream fades. The window closes, not with a loud crash, but with a quiet whisper. And the real tragedy? We don't even notice the loss until it's too late. Let me tell you about Mira. She loved writing. She had notebooks filled with stories, poems, ideas. Everyone told her she had talent. She dreamed of publishing a book someday. But each time she sat down to write seriously, she found a reason to stop. It's not the right time. I'm not ready. Let me wait until things settle down. Years passed. The notebooks gathered dust. Life got busier. She woke up at 38 one day, wondering why she never began. Her talent hadn't faded, but her courage had, and she realized too late, the cost of delay is regret. What makes delay dangerous is that it feels safe. It doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like postponing one. But here's a wake-up call. Every time you delay something important, you're making a decision to stay stuck, a decision to let fear run the show, a decision to lose time you'll never get back. Time is not a renewable resource. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. Every hour you waste is an hour you never get to relive, and yet we treat our time as if it's infinite. So what are the hidden costs of delay? Loss of confidence. Every time you avoid what matters, you chip away at your self-respect. Deep down, your mind knows. I said I'd do this, but I didn't. Over time, this erodes belief. And without belief, you won't act. Delay builds a silent loop of self-doubt. Missed opportunities. Opportunities have expiration dates. They don't always knock twice. Sometimes a delay of a week means missing a window forever. A client goes with someone else. A course closes. A spark dies. The world keeps moving, and delay makes you miss the train. Stolen peace. Unfinished tasks don't just sit on your to-do list. They take up space in your mind. They create mental clutter, guilt, anxiety. You feel stressed even when you're doing nothing, because deep down, you know what you've delayed. Compounding discomfort. What you delay today becomes heavier tomorrow. A 5-minute task delayed becomes a 2-hour problem. A small health issue ignored becomes a crisis. A minor conversation avoided becomes a broken relationship. Delay inflates the weight of the very thing you're avoiding. Emotional numbness. Over time, delay disconnects you from your own potential. You stop dreaming big. You stop believing change is possible. You settle. That's the most painful cost of all, the death of hunger. So what's the way out? You don't defeat delay with motivation. You defeat it with action. Small, deliberate, imperfect action. Here are 4 powerful shifts that will help you stop paying the hidden costs of delay. Shift 1. Replace later with now. Make later a red flag in your vocabulary. Every time you say, "I'll do it later," pause. Ask yourself, why not now? Often, the resistance is minor. It's not that you can't do it now, you just don't feel like it. But feelings don't control your future. Choices do. Shift 2. Break the task down. Delay often comes from overwhelm. You look at a big task and freeze, so shrink it. Don't try to write the book. Write 1 paragraph. Don't try to fix your entire routine. Set 1 alarm. Make the first step so small it feels almost silly. Then do it. Shift 3. Set visible consequences. Give yourself honest accountability. Set a deadline. Tell someone. Make the cost of delay visible. Humans avoid pain, and when the pain of delay becomes real, you'll act. Shift 4. Value time like money. Imagine if someone stole 500 UPs from you every day. You'd be furious. But how many days have you lost scrolling, worrying, hesitating? Time is more valuable than money. Once spent, it's gone. Start treating your time like your most precious currency. You're not running out of time, you're leaking it. Slowly, quietly, until you look back and wonder where it went. But the beauty of this moment is, you can stop the leak now. You don't need a fresh year, a Monday, or a crisis. You need a choice. A single, solid choice to stop delaying what matters. And the good news? Once you begin, momentum takes over. Action creates clarity. Movement builds motivation. You'll begin to feel different, not because the world changed, but because you did. Delay dies in the presence of urgency. In the next chapter, we'll look at the comfort zone, the trap disguised as safety, and how to step out of it into the real growth zone. Chapter 3. What are you really avoiding? It's not about the task. It never is. You sit in front of your laptop, staring at the blank page. You've told yourself you'll start that project, write that email, make that call. But you don't. You scroll. You tidy up your desk. You check your inbox again, then again, and again. The day disappears in a blur of tiny distractions. You end up exhausted, yet strangely unsatisfied. It's easy to think you're lazy, that you lack motivation, that something's wrong with you. But the truth is far more powerful and far more liberating. You're not avoiding work. You're avoiding something underneath the work. What we avoid externally often points to what we're afraid of internally. And until we bring that fear to light, it will quietly sabotage every attempt at progress. So ask yourself, what are you really avoiding? Are you avoiding rejection? You don't apply for that opportunity because you fear hearing no. You don't start that business because what if it fails and people laugh? Are you avoiding imperfection? You delay launching your idea, waiting for it to be flawless. You don't take the first step because it's not good enough yet. Deep down, perfectionism is fear in a tuxedo. It looks noble, but it's still fear. Are you avoiding effort without reward? You fear that you'll give it your all and still not succeed. So instead, you hold back just enough that you never have to face that possibility. Are you avoiding responsibility? Growth means responsibility. It means ownership. It means discipline. And part of you may resist that, not because you're weak, but because you've grown comfortable in the familiar pain of stagnation. Avoidance is not a behavior problem. It's a fear response. Take Raj, for example. He had a dream of starting a YouTube channel. He had the gear, the ideas, the skills, but he kept postponing his first video. He told himself he needed more research, more practice. But after some deep reflection, he realized he wasn't avoiding the work. He was avoiding judgment. He was terrified of putting himself out there and not being good enough. Once he faced that truth, everything shifted. His goal wasn't just to make content anymore. It was to face his fear of being seen. Avoidance masks itself as logic. It says, wait until you're ready. You're not qualified yet. What will people think? But underneath, it's almost always fear trying to keep you safe. Here's the irony. The things we avoid most are often the very things that would change our lives. So how do you deal with deep-rooted avoidance? Step 1. Name the fear. Say it out loud. Be brutally honest. I'm afraid people won't like what I create. I'm afraid I'll fail and confirm that I'm not good enough. When you give fear a name, you shrink its power. Vague fears grow in silence. Clear fears can be confronted. Step 2. Separate emotion from reality. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean you're in danger. Discomfort is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're growing. Remind yourself, this fear isn't fatal. It's just unfamiliar. Growth always feels like resistance at first. Step 3. Lean into what you resist. Start small. Don't fight the fear head-on. Lean into it gently. Afraid of writing? Commit to writing just 100 words a day. Afraid of speaking? Practice to an empty room. The goal isn't perfection, it's exposure. Repetition rewires the brain. The more you face what you fear, the less power it has. Step 4. Reframe avoidance as a compass. What you're avoiding may actually be your biggest breakthrough. Use it as a compass. Ask, what would I do today if I wasn't afraid? Often the answer points directly to the action you need to take next. Step 5. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Fear thrives in the future. It imagines worst-case scenarios and paralyzes you. Bring yourself back to the present. Don't worry about the result. Just do the work. One small step. One simple task. Progress beats perfection, every time. And remember this, you've already survived every hard day so far. You're far more capable than you feel. The fear in your mind is almost always louder than the reality in front of you. There is no version of your dream that doesn't require discomfort. There is no shortcut around fear. But there is a path through it, and every courageous action you take rewrites your story. Avoidance delays growth, but awareness activates change. The next time you catch yourself scrolling, avoiding, or numbing out, pause. Don't shame yourself. Just ask, what am I really avoiding right now? And then take a small step toward it. Because the life you want is waiting on the other side of that fear. It's not just about managing your time better. It's about mastering the part of you that's been silently steering your choices. In the next chapter, we'll talk about the comfort zone, how it keeps you safe, small, and stuck, and how to finally step beyond it into the life you're meant to live. Chapter 4. Rewrite your inner script. You can have the best tools, the perfect schedule, and a flawless to-do list. But if the voice inside your head is still whispering, "You're not good enough," none of it will stick. This chapter isn't about time management. It's about identity. Because the reason most people keep wasting time isn't just poor discipline. It's because deep down, they don't believe they're capable, worthy, or strong enough to use their time well. They've unconsciously bought into an old, broken script, a story playing in the background that tells them who they are and what they're not. And here's the hard truth. As long as that story stays the same, your life will repeat itself. The mind runs on stories. It doesn't just record what happens, it assigns meaning to it. That meaning becomes your belief system. And your beliefs shape your actions. Over time, your actions shape your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. If you want to stop wasting time, you have to change what you believe about yourself. Let me explain with an example. Vikram grew up being told he was lazy and irresponsible. Not in big, dramatic ways, but in small, casual comments from family, teachers, even friends. Don't expect much from him. He always starts things but never finishes. Over time, that became his inner script. So even when he tried to change, woke up early, set goals, worked hard, he would eventually fall back into old patterns. Why? Because deep down, he didn't believe he was the kind of person who followed through. His identity didn't match his effort. This is what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. When your actions and beliefs are out of sync, the mind pulls you back to what feels familiar. It doesn't matter if that familiar place is painful. It just has to be known. So if you keep telling yourself, "I'm a procrastinator," "I always mess things up," or "I'm not a morning person," your brain will fight to keep you aligned with that identity, even when you want to change. That's why lasting change doesn't begin with doing. It begins with becoming. You must rewrite your inner script. Here's how you start. Identify the script. Begin by noticing what you say to yourself when you fail, delay, or feel stuck. Be honest. Is it, "I'm useless? I'll never get this right? I always ruin opportunities"? These aren't harmless thoughts. They're scripts, silent programs that shape your reality. Write them down. Don't judge, just observe. Trace it back. Ask, where did this belief come from? Whose voice is this really? Was it a teacher? A parent? A failure that wounded your confidence? Understand that this script was not born in truth. It was born in a moment of pain. And that moment doesn't have to define you. Challenge the lie. Every negative belief is a half-truth wrapped in emotion. Ask yourself, is this always true? Have there been times I showed up? Times I succeeded? Times I proved this script wrong? You'll find evidence that you are more than your worst thought. Choose a new identity. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about choosing who you want to become and speaking to yourself from that place. Replace "I'm lazy" with "I'm learning to take consistent action." Replace "I always fail" with "I grow stronger with every setback." These aren't affirmations. They're declarations of transformation. Act from the new script. Identity is reinforced through behavior. If you want to believe you're disciplined, do one small disciplined thing daily. If you want to believe you're focused, shut off distractions for 20 minutes and work. Each action becomes evidence for the new story. And with enough evidence, the story becomes belief. Remember this: you don't become confident, productive, or focused overnight. You become it one choice at a time, one act of courage, one moment of saying, "This time, I won't quit."
And it doesn't have to be big.
Often, it's something as small as closing an app when you want to scroll, or choosing to write one sentence instead of none. These moments may seem minor, but they're not. They are the bricks of your new identity. And here's the most powerful part: you don't need to fully believe in the new script right now. You just need to act like someone who does. Action precedes belief. You don't have to wait until you feel motivated to change. Motivation comes after movement. You don't need to wait until you fully love yourself to start building discipline. Self-respect is built by keeping your own promises. Every time you say no to delay and yes to the moment, you're proving to your subconscious that you are not who you were. You're becoming someone new, someone powerful, someone who values time, not because it's easy, but because it's sacred. Your inner script is not permanent. It was written by circumstance. It can be rewritten by choice. The pen is in your hands now, so write something bold, something true, something worthy of the life you want to live. Because the story you tell yourself is the foundation of every action you take. Chapter 5. Build your anti-procrastination toolkit. Let's get practical. You now understand the invisible traps, how time loops keep you stuck, how delays cost more than you realize, how fear disguises itself as avoidance, and how your inner script shapes your reality. But awareness alone isn't enough. It's time to take action. Sustained, consistent, focused action. That's where your anti-procrastination toolkit comes in. You don't beat procrastination with willpower alone. You beat it with structure, tools, and habits that work even on the days you don't feel like showing up. The goal is simple: eliminate as many points of resistance as possible and make progress almost automatic. So let's dive in. This isn't theory. This is your practical go-to guide when resistance shows up. These are the tools that help you do the work even when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to. Tool 1, the 5-minute rule. This one's simple but wildly effective. If a task feels overwhelming, commit to doing it for just 5 minutes. Not 30, not an hour, just 5. Most people never start because their mind builds the task up into a monster. But once you start, even a little, you break the illusion. Momentum kicks in. Action beats anxiety. And more often than not, 5 minutes becomes 50. Tool 2, the one thing. Focus filter. Every morning, before checking your phone or inbox, ask, what is the one task I can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? Focus on that first. Not the easy stuff. Not the urgent but unimportant stuff. The one thing. This creates laser clarity and ensures you spend your best energy on what matters most. Tool 3, time blocking. Your brain craves structure. Without it, time expands to fit distractions. Set specific blocks of time for specific tasks: work, rest, reading, exercise, learning. Don't just hope to be productive. Design your day to be. Treat your time blocks like appointments with yourself. Show up. Tool 4, the 10-10-10 method. Stuck in indecision? Ask yourself, if I don't take action now, how will I feel in 10 minutes, in 10 days, in 10 months? This method gives perspective. It pulls you out of the emotional fog of the present and reconnects you to long-term vision. Delay thrives in short-term thinking. This tool shifts you into legacy mode. Tool 5, distraction fast. Choose 1 hour a day to go completely distraction-free. No phone, no social media, no tabs, just deep work. You don't need to do this all day. Just one focused hour can produce more results than 8 distracted ones. Start small. Build the muscle. Tool 6. Friction killers. Make starting easier by removing resistance. If you want to write, keep your journal or laptop open. If you want to work out, lay your clothes out the night before. If you want to read, keep the book on your desk. Reduce the number of decisions between you and action. The easier it is to start, the more likely you will. Tool 7. The done list. At the end of each day, write down what you accomplished, not just what's left to do. This isn't about pride, it's about momentum. Most procrastinators feel like they're always behind. A done list shows you're actually progressing, which fuels motivation and confidence. Tool 8. Accountability anchors. Tell someone your goals. Share your intentions. Join a challenge. Hire a coach. Accountability creates external pressure, and sometimes, external pressure is the bridge to internal change. You are far more likely to follow through when someone is watching. Tool 9. Environment design. Your environment silently shapes your habits. If your workspace is cluttered, distracting, or uninspiring, your mind will reflect that chaos. Design an environment that supports your focus. Clean your desk. Use noise-canceling headphones. Set a specific space where your brain knows, this is where I work. Tool 10. Delay the reward, not the task. Flip the usual pattern. Don't reward yourself before the work. Use the reward as a lever. Want to scroll Instagram? Do 30 minutes of deep work first. Want to watch your favorite show? Finish your writing goal first. This builds delayed gratification, the muscle of success. Tool 11. Set painful consequences. Sometimes positive reinforcement isn't enough. Set a consequence if you don't follow through. Pay a friend. Donate to a cause you don't support. Publicly commit. When the cost of inaction rises, so does your commitment to act. Tool 12. Use if-then planning. Anticipate resistance and pre-decide how you'll respond. If I feel like procrastinating, then I will start a 5-minute timer. If I get distracted, then I will close all tabs and reset. This reduces hesitation and replaces it with quick recovery systems. Tool 13. Create identity rituals. Build small daily habits that reinforce who you want to become. For example, if you want to become a focused person, begin your day with 10 minutes of quiet intention. If you want to be someone who values growth, end your day journaling what you learned. These micro-rituals build macro transformation. You don't need to use all these tools at once. Start with 3 that resonate. Experiment. Adjust. Find your rhythm. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to be prepared. Procrastination wins when you're unarmed. But when you show up with tools, with awareness, with a plan, you win. You turn, I don't feel like it, into, let's do 5 minutes. You turn, I'll start tomorrow, into, 1 block of focus right now. You stop living by default and start leading by design. You are not powerless. You are simply under-equipped. And now, you have the tools. Chapter 6. Master the art of focus. Time is not your most valuable asset. Attention is. Because without attention, time is useless. You can have a full hour in your day, but if your mind is scattered, jumping from one notification to the next, one tab to another, you'll end the hour drained and empty-handed. No progress, no momentum, just digital noise and mental fatigue. Focus is the new superpower. In a world where everyone is distracted, the person who can concentrate, deeply and deliberately, will outperform, outlast, and outgrow everyone else. Focus is how you build skill. It's how you move the needle. It's how you create anything of real value. But let's be honest, focus doesn't come naturally anymore. We're living in a war zone for your attention. Every app, every feed, every click is designed to hijack your brain. And the scary part? Most people don't even know they've lost control. You check your phone an average of 100 times a day. You switch tabs every 40 seconds. You interrupt your own work for things that don't even matter. And each interruption, each tiny dopamine hit pulls you further from the deep work that leads to real results. So if you want to stop wasting time, you must master focus. Not as a temporary strategy, but as a daily discipline. Here's the truth. Focus is not something you wait to feel. It's something you train. Let's break it down. These are the key pillars of mastering focus step by step. Protect your inputs. Your brain is not a trash can. Don't let just anything in. What you consume shapes your ability to focus. If your day starts with social media, news cycles, and random YouTube spirals, your brain enters reaction mode. You lose control of your mental state. Instead, begin each day with intention. Read something that builds you. Sit in silence. Write your goals. Choose your input. Don't be a slave to it. Define your deep work zones. Not all tasks are created equal. Answering emails is not the same as building a business. Organizing files is not the same as writing a chapter. Identify your deep work tasks, the ones that move you forward, and carve out protected time blocks for them. During these blocks, cut off all noise. No phone, no music, no tabs, just you and the task. The deeper your work, the faster your growth. Use the power of one. Multitasking is a lie. The brain can only focus on one cognitive task at a time. Trying to do two things at once doesn't double your output. It cuts it in half. So do one thing, do it fully, then move on. The power of one task, done with complete presence, will always outperform 10 things done with divided attention. Create a ritual to begin. Rituals cue the brain. Just like athletes have pre-game routines to get into peak state, you can train your brain to enter focus mode. Light a specific candle. Play a certain instrumental track. Open a particular notebook. These small cues trigger a mental shift, one that tells your mind, it's time to lock in. Set a visible timer. Time limits increase urgency. Use a countdown timer, 25 minutes, 45 minutes, or whatever block suits you. When the timer is running, your only job is to work. This technique, often called the Pomodoro method, forces you into structured sprints. Focus becomes a game, and games are easier to win than vague goals. Guard the first hour. The first hour of your day sets the tone. If you give it away to your phone, to your inbox, or to random scrolling, your attention will be fractured for the rest of the day. Instead, claim the first hour for your highest purpose, your deepest work, your biggest priority, your most sacred silence. Own the morning, and you own the day. Close the loops. Open loops in your mind, unfinished tasks, unmade decisions, drain your focus without you realizing it. Take 5 to 10 minutes daily to review your tasks, clear the clutter, and finish small things that are nagging at you. A clear mind is a focused mind. Fight the urge to switch. The moment you feel the urge to switch tasks, resist it. That urge is the brain looking for easy dopamine. Ride it out. Often, if you push through that discomfort for just 2 more minutes, you'll enter a deeper level of focus. It's like breaking through a wall, and beyond that wall is where real productivity lives. Train your mind. Like a muscle, focus is not a trait, it's a skill. And like any skill, it gets sharper with training. Start small, 10 minutes of pure focus a day, then 20, then 45. Just like working out, the more you practice, the stronger your focus becomes. And over time, you'll notice something powerful. The things that used to distract you won't have the same pull. Build recovery into your day. Focus without rest leads to burnout. Just like muscles need recovery, so does the mind. Don't skip breaks. Step away from the screen. Go outside. Breathe. Meditate. Real focus is not about pushing harder. It's about working smart, then stepping back to recharge. Let me give you an example. Anjali used to think she had focus problems. She'd start a task, then get distracted. She'd plan her week, then not follow through. She thought something was wrong with her, but the problem wasn't her brain, it was her system. She had no structure, no rituals, no limits. Once she implemented time blocks, removed digital clutter, and started with just 20 minutes of distraction-free work each morning, everything changed. Within weeks, she was finishing projects faster, sleeping better, and feeling more in control. That's the power of mastering focus. It doesn't just make you productive, it gives you peace. Because when your mind is scattered, you feel anxious. But when you're locked in, time disappears. The noise fades. You enter what athletes call flow, that rare state where you're fully alive in the moment, doing what matters, with nothing pulling you away. That's the state you want to live in. Not permanently, but regularly. Daily, even if for just 1 hour. Because one focused hour a day, repeated over a year, is enough to build a dream, launch a business, write a book, change your life. You don't need more time. You need deeper focus. And now, you know how to build it. Make time serve you. You weren't born to chase time. You were born to lead it. Most people live in constant reaction. They wake up and instantly check messages, emails, headlines. They spend their day responding to notifications, to other people's demands, to whatever appears urgent. By the end of the day, they're exhausted but unsure what they even accomplished, and the cycle repeats. Time feels like a master they can't please. But here's the truth. Time is not your master. It's your servant. It will serve you once you learn how to lead it. You don't get more time by wishing. You get it by designing. And to design your time, you must shift from being time-driven to being purpose-driven. Purpose brings clarity, and clarity gives you leverage over time. Let's make this real. Imagine two people, both with the same 24 hours. One wakes up with intention. He knows his priorities. He knows what matters today. He's planned his blocks, guarded his deep work hours, and protected his focus. The other wakes up late, rushes through the morning, responds to messages, gets pulled into meetings, scrolls when bored, multitasks through work, and collapses at night wondering where the day went. Same hours, different life. The person who leads their time leads their future. So how do you make time serve you? Step 1. Own your hours. Start with brutal honesty. Where is your time actually going? Not where you think it's going, where it's really going. For 1 week, track your time in 30-minute blocks. Be honest, not judgmental. Notice the leaks, scrolling, indecision, overthinking, multitasking. Awareness is power. When you see your time clearly, you reclaim it. Step 2. Define your non-negotiables. Every day can't be planned perfectly. Life will interrupt you. But there must be a few things, 2 or 3, that are non-negotiable. These are the actions aligned with your deepest priorities, your growth, your health, your mission. No matter what happens, these things get done. Why? Because they anchor your day to meaning. Examples of non-negotiables. 1 hour of focused work on your most important project. 30 minutes of exercise. A daily journal or reflection practice. Reading for growth. Quality time with family or your partner. When you decide what's non-negotiable, your day begins to serve your values, not just your tasks. Step 3. Design the week, not just the day. Don't plan your life one chaotic day at a time. Zoom out. On Sunday or Monday, look at your week ahead. Block time for deep work, rest, learning, relationships, and self-care. Planning by the week lets you batch similar tasks, reduce decision fatigue, and create rhythm. Time bends in your favor when it's structured around your values. Step 4. Schedule white space. Productivity is not about cramming. It's about pacing. Leave intentional gaps in your schedule for rest, recovery, creativity, or simply breathing room. These open spaces reduce burnout, increase clarity, and give you time to adapt when life changes course. White space is not wasted time. It's where your best ideas often come from. Step 5. Reverse engineer your vision. Start with the end in mind. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What habits would that version of you have mastered? What would they prioritize? Now ask, what can I do today to start becoming that version of myself? Reverse engineering your future brings long-term vision into daily action. You're not just managing time, you're designing legacy. Step 6. Eliminate to elevate. Stop trying to do everything. Most of what clutters your schedule doesn't matter. Review your calendar. Look at your to-do list. Then ask, what can I delete, delegate, or delay? Simplicity is a superpower. The fewer tasks you chase, the more energy you bring to the ones that count. Step 7. Align time with energy. Not all hours are equal. You have peak hours, times in the day when your brain is sharpest. Guard those hours for your highest value work. Don't waste your golden hours on emails or admin tasks. Use them for creating, building, thinking, solving. Match your time blocks to your energy cycles, and your productivity will multiply. Step 8. Start before you're ready. Time doesn't wait. Neither should you. The perfect time never comes. You don't need more preparation. You need motion. Begin now with what you have from where you are. The act of starting transforms someday into right now. The best way to command time is to stop waiting for the ideal moment. Step 9. Respect transitions. The moments between tasks matter. Don't rush from one thing to the next. Take short breaks. Close your eyes. Stretch. Breathe. Reflect. These micro-recoveries clear your mental cache and prepare you for what's next. Transition time is not wasted. It's what keeps your system resilient. Step 10. End with intention. How you close the day determines how you feel about it. Don't just fall asleep after hours of scrolling. Close your day with intention. Review what you did well. Release what you couldn't control. Set your intentions for tomorrow. This 5-minute ritual brings closure, clarity, and peace. Here's what this all comes down to. Make your time reflect who you truly are, not who the world pressures you to be. Because in the end, time is not just about minutes and hours. It's about meaning. It's about the life you're building through small daily choices. When you lead your time with clarity, purpose, and structure, everything changes. Your confidence rises, your results multiply, and most importantly, your days begin to feel like they belong to you again. Chapter 9. Protect what matters most. When people talk about productivity, they usually talk about doing more tasks, more output, more speed. But productivity that comes at the cost of your peace, your relationships, your health, or your purpose is not progress. It's just noise. What's the point of getting everything done if the things that matter most get left behind? You see, the biggest danger in today's world isn't that you'll fail. It's that you'll succeed at things that don't matter. You'll build a career, chase goals, check off boxes, while slowly drifting away from your values, your joy, your sense of self. This chapter is about building an inner fortress, about protecting the few things in life that are truly priceless. Time wasting isn't always about scrolling or procrastinating. Sometimes it's about being so busy with the trivial that you neglect the essential. So what matters most? Only you can answer that. But here's a truth you'll feel deep in your bones. What matters most usually isn't urgent, and what's urgent usually isn't what matters most. Think about it. When was the last time your health screamed at you to take care of it? When was the last time your family begged you to be present? When was the last time your soul knocked loudly and said, "Hey, remember what lights you up?" The things that matter don't always yell, but they fade quietly when ignored. That's why protecting them must be intentional, ruthless, sacred. Let's talk about how to do that in a world that constantly tries to steal your focus and fragment your priorities. Define your essentials. Clarity precedes protection. You can't guard what you haven't clearly identified. So get clear. What are the 3 to 5 things in your life that, if everything else fell apart, would still give you meaning? Maybe it's your family, your mental and physical health, your life's mission, your integrity, your spiritual connection, your craft. Choose them carefully. These are your essentials. Everything else is a detail. Guard your yes. Saying yes to everything is a fast track to mediocrity. Every yes is a trade-off. When you say yes to extra projects, obligations, or invitations, you're saying no to something else, often something far more meaningful. Learn the power of a gracious but firm no. Protect your time like you'd protect your home. Not everyone gets access. Not every opportunity deserves your energy. Create boundaries that defend peace. Your boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're fences that keep your values safe. Protect your focus hours. Protect your evenings. Protect your weekends if they're sacred to you. Protect your mental space from people who drain or manipulate. You don't need to explain your boundaries to everyone. You just need to live them consistently. People will adjust, or they'll leave. Either way, you win peace. Don't let productivity become an identity. You are not your to-do list. You are not your inbox. You are not your output. You are a human being, not a human doing. Yes, work hard. Build. Contribute. But never forget that your worth isn't measured in deadlines met or goals crushed. Your value is inherent. Your joy, your laughter, your relationships, your rest, they matter too. Let go of the guilt that comes when you choose being over doing. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is protect your joy. Show up where presence matters. Being physically present is easy. Being emotionally and mentally present is the real challenge. When you're with loved ones, be there fully. Put the phone down. Make eye contact. Listen with intention. Time doesn't slow down for anyone, but presence makes it feel like it does. No one ever said on their deathbed, "I wish I had answered more emails." What they do say is, "I wish I had spent more time with the people I love." Protect your presence. It's one of the most powerful gifts you can give. Audit your relationships. Some people lift you, some drain you. You don't need to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need to be intentional about who you give consistent energy to. Are your relationships helping you become the person you want to be, or pulling you away from it? Choose to invest in people who make your values feel alive, people who challenge you to rise, people who celebrate your progress, not just your success. Schedule time for the important but non-urgent growth, health, relationships, reflection. These things rarely scream for your attention, but they shape your entire future. If it matters to you, it belongs on your calendar. Block time for workouts. Block time for deep conversations. Block time for reading, praying, learning, journaling. Don't wait until life forces you to prioritize them. By then, the cost is usually too high. Stop apologizing for your priorities. You don't owe the world your time. You owe yourself your truth. Stop feeling bad for prioritizing your kids over overtime, for choosing rest over hustle, for picking peace over popularity. You get one shot at this life. One. You don't need permission to protect what matters. You just need courage. Remember that maintenance is mastery. You don't protect what matters most with grand gestures. You protect it through small, consistent choices. 10 minutes of journaling, a phone call to your parents, a daily walk, a quiet dinner with no screens, checking in with your goals once a week. Maintenance doesn't get applause, but it builds a life that doesn't collapse under pressure. Mastery is boring, But that's what makes it powerful. Don't lose the point while chasing progress. You're not doing all this, managing time, beating procrastination, optimizing performance, just to be busy. You're doing it so you can finally live aligned with what matters most, so that your schedule reflects your soul, so that your days don't just look full, but feel full, so that when you look back at this season of your life, you don't feel regret, you feel reverence. This chapter isn't about slowing down, it's about speeding up in the right direction, because if you don't protect what matters most, the world will distract you with what matters least. You're not here to do everything. You're here to do the right things with your whole heart. And now, as we approach the final chapter, it's time to bring all of this together. The tools, the mindset, the transformation. Chapter 10. Live like time is precious. There comes a moment in every journey of change when the question stops being, how do I fix my time, and becomes, how do I live in a way that honors time itself? You've come this far. You've uncovered the roots of procrastination. You've rebuilt your habits, rewired your mindset, faced your fears, fought for focus, and started protecting what truly matters. But this last chapter is about something deeper, something sacred. Time isn't just a resource. It's your life in motion. It's the invisible thread that holds your relationships, your goals, your growth, your dreams, and your purpose together. And once it passes, it never returns. Every second is a seed. You can waste it, ignore it, or plant it, but you cannot pause it. Most people live like they'll get a second version of today. They spend time like it's infinite. They act like they'll always have another chance to start that business, write that book, make that call, say that truth, forgive that pain. But the clock doesn't lie. It keeps ticking. Living like time is precious is about becoming awake, fully present, fully alive, fully responsible. Not just with what you do, but with who you are becoming. And the first shift begins here. Stop thinking of time as something you manage. Start treating time as something you honor. You don't manage a sunset. You don't manage a beating heart. You experience it. You protect it. You savor it. So how do you live like time is precious? Start by making peace with your past. Whatever time you've wasted before, forgive yourself. Regret doesn't fix anything. It just steals today. Guilt is only useful if it becomes fuel for change. So take the lessons, leave the shame, and move forward. The past is over. What matters now is the page you're writing today. Then, get clear on this question. What kind of life will make your time worth it? Not just productive, not just busy, but meaningful. What would make you proud when you look back 5 years from now? Would it be that you finally stopped delaying your potential? That you gave your best energy to the people who matter? That you didn't just chase money or likes or applause, but impact? That you loved boldly, worked deeply, lived honestly? Because here's the reality. You're not in control of how much time you get, but you are in control of how deeply you live the time you have. And deep living starts with decisive action. Decide that your time is not for sale to every distraction. Decide that your mornings are for creating, not consuming. Decide that your dreams deserve urgency, not someday energy. Decide that you are done performing and pretending, and ready to live rooted in purpose. Most people are waiting for some magical day when motivation appears, clarity arrives, and the stars align. But the ones who change their lives understand something better. That day is never guaranteed. All you have is now. Now is where momentum is built. Now is where confidence is formed. Now is where the life you want begins. And living like time is precious doesn't mean rushing. It means being intentional. It means waking up with gratitude, walking through the day with clarity, and ending the night with peace. It means no longer measuring success by how much you did, but by how much you gave, learned, created, or loved. It means simplifying, cutting what drains, keeping what energizes. It means being bold, saying the hard things, making the tough calls, walking away from what's comfortable but dead. It means no longer waiting to feel ready, no longer numbing out with distraction, no longer settling for days that look full but feel empty. Because once you truly realize that time is your most precious currency, you stop spending it on anything that doesn't compound into meaning. Here are 5 anchors to help you live that truth every day. Start your day by asking, what matters most today? Not what's urgent, not what's loud, but what will I be glad I did? Eliminate one time leak this week. Maybe it's an app, a toxic person, or a mindless habit. Trade it for something that actually builds your life. Treat your calendar as a values map. If something is important, make it visible. Time block it. Honor it. Speak your heart often. We hold back love and truth as if time is eternal. But it isn't. Say the words now. Finish your day with reflection, not regret. Ask, did I live today like it mattered? If not, learn. If yes, repeat. Because one day, your time will run out. But until then, you have a choice. You can drift or you can decide. You can exist or you can expand. You can survive or you can serve, grow, and create something that outlives you. Living like time is precious isn't about pressure. It's about perspective. It's about waking up and realizing this is it, not a dress rehearsal, not a someday dream. This is your life, this moment, this hour, this breath. So take it in, take ownership, and from this day forward, live like every second is sacred, because it is. You've made it to the final chapter, but this isn't the end. It's the beginning of the life you were meant to live, one where time isn't wasted, it's invested.